Hey guys, Drifter here. Battle Royale is my favorite genre in gaming, but I think it might be dying and is soon to be replaced by extraction shooters. And by dying, I want to clarify before somebody says this video is hyperbole or clickbait, that I don't mean the genre is going to be fully dead and non-existent, but I do believe that it's bleeding players to other genres and is significantly on the decline, which is a shame to me because I absolutely love Battle Royale games. In my opinion, there's no other mode that can provide the same scale and variety of combat as Battle Royale. Very few games offer players the freedom of choice like a good BR. For example, an individual player can choose to be hyper-aggressive, to chase high kills, or they can simply rat to the very end of the map. It's also fun to scavenge new loot and new items every single time, and good battle royales tend to reward people that can play with almost anything. An individual game could feel like team deathmatch, survival horror, it could feel like The Predator but you play as the Predator, or it could feel like Mad Max if you wanted to with some of the vehicle-based battle royales. But the point is that every round of this genre is a story of all the decisions you made, and each round often feels like it has its own narrative, and I truly love that. Some of my fondest memories in gaming are in the early days of PUBG, Blackout, and Fortnite. I remember wondering when those games were brand new why anybody would play any other game mode. And then I began to wonder what could actually kill Battle Royale games. At the time, the only answers I could come up with were perhaps a lack of novelty or lag or performance issues because these games are really brutal on PCs, but oh boy, was I wrong. There are a lot of problems with the Battle Royale genre today, and I'm going to try to dig into one of the biggest ones by trying to answer the question of what's wrong with modern Battle Royales? And I'll start this out with a little history lessons and a few questions such as, do you remember a few years ago when Battle Royale was being added to basically every single existing title? And for the most part, gamers seemed to support that. They certainly played it a lot, and there wasn't that much community pushback. They played it so much that every single game company on the planet, developers and publishers, decided they needed to make their own Battle Royale game and capture that revenue. There wasn't an existing IP that wasn't experimenting with Battle Royale. So inevitably, the market became flooded with Battle Royale games of highly variable quality and just variable in general. To go way back, PUBG was the first big Battle Royale game. I know there were ones before it, I know it wasn't the true first, but that's really where the genre popped off. And PUBG was notoriously buggy. Though to be fair, most early Battle Royale games were all very buggy because they were very new. Every developer was trying to increase their quality and decrease the amount of bugs over the previous popular Battle Royale experience. I remember Call of Duty be going really hard on Blackout and sort of advertising less bugs than PUBG, which wasn't saying much because there was a ton, or Fortnite doing that, and then Apex saying we're, better built than both of those. But this was when the genre was entirely new and novel, and almost everybody that played it had never experienced anything like this before. And gamers seemed to be okay with this, and they were happy to experiment with all the different takes on Battle Royale from the different studios. I know I was. In terms of overall build quality, stability, lag, features, etc., the Battle Royale genre began to rapidly improve and solidify about the time Fortnite and Apex Legends entered the scene. But once the market became fully saturated, then we started getting ranked Battle Royale, and that's when everything fell apart. Do you remember the old Battle Royale games you used to play? They were fun because they were new and had a wide variety of players experimenting with them, and for the most part were rewarded for survival tactics more than hunting and killing. Do you remember back in the day on Blackout when everybody just bumbled around the map and seemed happy to explore? Do you remember when PUBG rewarded survival more than kills? Or do you remember when Verdansk came out, everybody just sat on top of the big tower sniping because it was a fun thing to do? Or people building funny shaped bases in Fortnite or trying to block people out of the last circle so they die in the gas, or all those goofy things you could do with the zipline and grapple hook with Pathfinder and Apex Legends. Most of you probably have at least one positive memory of this type, and by this type I mean a non-combat memory. When we didn't know what we were doing, we were much more content to just survive. There were always bigger, better, badder players on the map, but the general consensus, both from the gamers and the developers that built the games for them, was to avoid taking fights like that. Instead, you would avoid them and just try to survive for the next circle. And that fear of death and fear of having to restart your little adventure was very motivating for people to stay alive and kind of rat it out. Nobody that was playing these games had any idea how any of the maps looked, at least not the interior spaces. A lot of times it'd be the first time they were ever there. Nobody had any idea how you were supposed to play a Battle Royale game or what strategies worked. The fantasy of the game was just scooping up random people and dumping them into a giant deathmatch. And that fantasy really reflected the reality of how chaotic and weird it would be if you dropped off 100 randos from the street into a deathmatch. So you could do whatever you wanted, and everything was new and fun, and it felt high risk reward and scary. But now finally, modern battle royales aren't like that. Instead, they're driven much more based on high kill counts and hyper-aggressive gameplay. A good battle royale by today's standards, and by that I mean the standards of the gamers that would consume the content, is a game that appeals to Adderall-addicted TikTokers who want to immediately jump from one fight to another just to pump up their score. If you get on a battle royale game now, you'll notice that the players are much more aggressive than they used to be. Games aren't really built with survival in mind. Instead, they're built with fun combat in mind. And I don't mind fun combat, but I don't think that should be the focus of a battle royale game. But the players that are playing right now are playing for those battle royale style combat loops and experiences. A huge part of the reason that this changed is that just a lot of time has passed since these games first came out. Gamers have had almost a decade now to experience and learn from Battle Royale games, and gamers have died so many times that they no longer take the survival aspect seriously. It no longer feels like such a big loss to sort of restart your run. You just gotta go back and do it again. So there's no consequence for dying, and there's no encouragement for survival, so they're not doing this. The genre got so popular that some of the highest earning gamers on the planet were the ones who played competitive Battle Royale games. You can look at Ninja or Shroud for quick examples of that. But this in turn inspired everybody else to get much more competitive. Everybody started training and practicing and learning strategies and watching streamers and getting sweatier, up to the point where the Battle Royale genre has ultimately become solved. Most Battle Royale games these days get figured out very quickly. They tend to devolve into a very fixed meta. There's a known solution set for best decisions in almost every scenario. There's what you should do, what you shouldn't do, a good loadout, a bad loadout. It's to the point where you can predict how fights are going to play out just by looking at the map now. And of course, you know, there's esports related to that, but back in the day, you could never tell what was going to happen because nobody knew because the variety was so high. But with the nearly mandatory meta, that variety gets crushed. And I believe that in doing so, the entire genre has lost some of its magic. So when you load into a brand new Battle Royale game now, on day one, it's going to be people pushing for the highest score games that they can. And if you're playing an older Battle Royale game, you're going to deal with God Squads who are already max level and ranked and just trying to warm up with normals, or just people that have played it for 5 years. And you and everybody else knows that if you die, nothing happens, unless it's ranked, I suppose. So you just go out and play stupid aggressively, because why not? There's no consequences. There isn't likely to be any sort of new mechanics or new gameplay for the game. By solved, I mean we've done so many different things with the circles and with the gas and the deployment and the redeployment, the characters, their abilities, how you loot, crafting, etc., etc. I feel like we've tried almost everything. And at the end of the day, Battle Royale games now feel a lot more like American Gladiator instead of Battle Royale the movie. Side note, all of these games are based on, I think, a 1995 Japanese movie called Battle Royale. I would highly encourage you to watch the original Battle Royale film or read the manga. It's absolutely deranged in the best possible way. It was a very, very fun watch. So a lot of this is that we can't put the genie back in the bottle in terms of Battle Royale. We can't get those survival horror elements back. We can't get back some of the novelty or fun of being bewildered by your environment. And we can't get back the variety of enemy difficulty that we used to have a decade ago. Which is why I think so many game companies are transitioning over to extraction shooters. Extraction shooters actually solve a lot of these problems that I complain about, and I don't think I'm the only one complaining about them or thinking these things, which is why I'm going to be talking all about extraction shooters in my next video. But I do want to clarify that Battle Royale is still a huge genre, and it certainly isn't dead. And to be fair, it's not dying, it is declining, its player base is shrinking, it's getting less profitable and less popular, but I don't think it's on its way to death. I think it's just on its way to settling down into being just another genre of gaming. And I really do think it's bleeding players out to extraction shooters. But guys, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And check out my Pine Park video, which I linked below. I did an IRL vlog recently that was really fun. So if you haven't checked out some of my real life content, I would encourage you to do so. Drifter out.